Clown of the week. Well, I mean, she had to make an appearance eventually. I'm talking about Janet Yellen. Janet Yellen is the US Treasury Secretary who's overseen this gathering banking crisis. And she is so obviously a cult operative, it's almost funny. She was, for a significant amount of time, head of the Federal Reserve, and now she's Treasury Secretary under Biden. She was also serving in the administrations of Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, as well as Joe Biden. And what this lady does is nothing to do with money. It's to do with the cult agenda. It's the same thing. So anything to do with climate change, transgender, the war in Ukraine, the whole bloody shebang of spectrum of cult desires, she's on board with and manipulates the financial system that she's involved with to make those things happen. And one of those things is a banking crash, a financial crisis, to justify the digital currency, which she's also pushing. So this is Janet Yellen. I'll say clown of the week. She's far more sinister than that. She comes across as not very bright, and she might not be, because these cult people put not very bright people in because they just do as they're told. Or she might be hiding behind the not very bright persona to obscure cold calculation. Either way, this is a clown who isn't funny. And here's a little compilation of Janet Yellen's priorities as head of the Treasury in the United States.
The Biden-Harris administration has made racial equity a centerpiece of our economic agenda.
Roe v. Wade and access to reproductive health care, including abortion, helped lead to increased labor force participation.
President Biden, and I feel the same way too, believe that climate change is an existential threat that absolutely must be addressed.
The message I bring you from President Biden is simple. America will stand with Ukraine for as long as it takes.
Anyone see a pattern here? Whether it's Janet Yellen, the US Treasury, whether it's corporations, whether it's the banks, whether it's the BBC, all of them, and these other different aspects, governments of the system, the mantra is always the same: climate change, transgenderism, Ukraine, mass migration. And that's because, of course, it's not random, it's cold calculation. And thank God that there is an alternative media that is willing to expose it, because the mainstream, including the BBC, not only will not expose it, it's openly promoting it. And that is why it's so important to see the woke mentality for what it really is: tyranny. See you next week. Bye for now.